Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Thursday, December 16th, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. The attorney for the Flagler County School Board is sticking around. Christy Gavin survived a vote to renew her contract. It was approved 3-2. Gavin says she's always been accessible to board members.
I have always said my door is open. I don't believe I have ever turned a board member away and said, go away, I'm not busy, or I don't have time for you. I believe I have always made time. I believe I have always contacted board members after hours on the weekends to provide information regarding matters.
School board member Cheryl Massaro voted to keep Gavin on the payroll, calling the evening's events a witch hunt. She says Gavin does extensive work to ensure the district is complying with the Freedom of Information Act and Title IX. School board member Jill Woolbright was among those seeking to fire Gavin. She went back and forth with Colleen Conklin, who voted to keep Gavin. School board chairman Trevor Tucker also voted to extend Gavin's contract. 3 convicted felons are back behind bars. Karen Johnson reports.
Recently, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office conducted a traffic stop near Royal Palms Parkway and Town Center Boulevard. A probable cause search of the vehicle led to the recovery of drugs, and they arrested 3 suspects, identified as 23-year-old Jayla Stewart, 41-year-old Brett Savage, and 27-year-old Cozy Jones. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Deputies located the vehicle and conducted a traffic stop, resulting in 3 arrests. One individual was wanted for felony aggravated domestic violence assault by the Ormond Beach Police Department, and the other 2 occupants were arrested for being in possession of methamphetamine and one for trafficking in fentanyl due to the amount of fentanyl he had in his possession. All 3 of these defendants were well known to Flagler County deputies, having been each arrested multiple times. Hopefully they will go away to state prison this time, so the revolving door of the criminal justice system in the Green Roof Inn will come to a final close.
Sheriff Staley says this is another great example of see something, say something, and he commends the deputies for another job well done, protecting the community from this poison and getting these offenders off the street. Again, for Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
The free state of Florida continues to navigate this pandemic.
Republican U.S. Congressman Michael Waltz, whose district includes Flagler County, says Florida is in good shape, even amid worries surrounding the Omicron coronavirus variant. He tells WNZF's Free for All Friday he's proud of the steps taken by Governor Ron DeSantis to protect Florida residents.
I think Governor DeSantis has done a great job of that. On the one hand, we had record numbers. I mean, we're at pre-pandemic tourism levels now, but at the same time, per capita, we have the lowest COVID rates in the country. So that's just taking a common sense approach, focusing on the most vulnerable, focusing on therapeutics.
Waltz adds Americans are voting with their feet.
They want to be free, live free, make their own decisions with their families, not with government making decisions for them, and keep as much money in their pockets rather than handing it over to government bureaucrats, and live in a beautiful place. That is the free state of Florida. That's why we're gaining 1,000 people per day.
Hear the full conversation with Waltz on the Free for All Friday podcast, available on the Flagler Radio app. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Bunnell's interim police chief is setting into his new role and discusses goals he has for the department. Rich Petchke takes a look.
Brandon Sneed took over as the department's top cop after Chief Tom Foster retired earlier this month. Sneed is looking at, among other things, staffing levels, which he says can be a big issue in a department this size.
Large agencies, really, they can get by with staffing because they have staffing to go through. In a smaller agency, when staffing is depleted, it hits you harder because now you're taxing the ones that are there with working extra and overtime and things of that nature.
Sneed also wants to see the department become accredited.
The one thing that is nice is the sheriff has already established a footprint here for accreditation, and you have a big resource just right here in your backyard. So it makes things easy for you to establish that because he is so supportive of the Bunnell Police Department. And that's huge because it's not always that case everywhere you go.
And Sheriff Rick Staley applauds Sneed's plan.
We certainly encourage all agencies in Florida to become accredited. So that's a great goal that he has already set.
The city will begin the process to find a permanent police chief in January. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
If you need mental health help, you can walk into the Vince Carter Sanctuary right now.
Alicia Vinson, VP Flagler Services SMA Health, says there is staff on hand at that location.
We've added 3 new therapists on staff. We've also in the process of hiring a screener. So if the court or an individual needs to have a screening done, they can literally walk in the front door and say, I'm here for a screening.
Vincent said they've also hired an outreach coordinator who will handle the front desk. She said if needed, the coordinator will take those who walk in the door to the exact place they need to be. Lifeline, sponsored by Advent Health, is every Saturday morning at 9 here on WNZF, the podcast on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, how's all this get paid for? From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.